Working out is more than just building your body. It actually builds something in you far surpassing just what you can see in the physical. So today I'm going to talk about the top 5 reasons why working out from a child when it's healthy to work out and begin doing so, all the way into the adulthood where I'm now 32 and I'm still reaping the physical and mental results of beginning working out when I was a kid. So first of all, I just want to talk about something very simple: discipline. A lot of children in today's society grow up with very little discipline because if you do discipline, you can be looked at as a abusive, aggressive adult that is very domineering. So working out is something that an adult could easily instill in their child just by simply getting them a gym pass and driving them into becoming somebody who is working out on a daily basis, whether it be at home or in the gym. Now, there's a lot of science behind when that age is ideal between resistance training, actual weight training, heavy weight training. But the most common thing that adults can do to help their children is, first of all, just get them into a sport that helps them build discipline by showing up on a 3 to 6 time a week basis to your sporting practice, and then actually going through the very challenging time of doing a game, doing a match, whatever the sport is, because just that alone is something that is building somebody into a disciplined person that has the ability to push through pain, push through trials, and even sometimes push through trauma and work that out with their parent if the parent is healthy enough emotionally, that can drive them into somebody further along the road that has emotional security and maturity, and then obviously has the physical capabilities that I'll get into even more. The second thing that I want to talk about is confidence. Confidence is something built. It's not something you're necessarily born with. I do believe that you can be born with levels, but it's through trials in your environment that confidence can be nurtured in a kid. And even as an adult, it can be something that is through an environment nurtured even more. I do not believe that only as a child you can grow and cognitively and physically mature, obviously physically. But even mentally, you can mature as an adult by putting yourself in uncomfortable situations. And I've had clients that have come to me in their 20s, 30s, and 40s that have never picked up a weight. And they all of a sudden fall in love with it and realize that their life can be completely changed and different. So fitness helps carry you through your day more confidently. You can actually have a better posture, stand up more straight. There's a lot of statistics about individuals that carry themselves walking into like a business boardroom with their stature nice and upright and exceeding confidence. There's a lot of public individuals that exceed and exude that confidence compared to the rest of the people in the room that they walk into or on the Zoom call or whatever. And that's typically the individuals that are the most successful. And that is something that a lot of children are actually taught that is a bad thing nowadays. A lot of Christians can be taught that that's prideful and cocky, which I disagree with. I think putting others down in order to get higher is something that is immoral and not something that should be had and done. But doing so in a way that you are propelling yourself forward while bringing others up, that is a form of both leadership and confidence that every child needs to be able to grasp at a young age, and that's instilled in them by their parents. One of the biggest things that I talk about with all my younger clients, because I'm an online and in-person trainer, is I teach their parents that they need to be getting into sports that help them with their athleticism and coordination. So this is not the mental, but this is now the physical. That is something that is very important in the long run that you need to be able to get in order to thrive later in sports. And even, if you're in sports your whole life and then you turn 70 years old, your muscle memory is still there. Is it the same as when you were 20 years old, being a dog at rugby like I was, or somebody that was a gymnast and flipping and stuff like that off on a floor, on a bounce floor? No. But the reality is that muscle memory is there. The rotational power to, as 70 years old, you slip on ice in the Midwest and rotate your body and catch yourself. That is something that is actually built into the individual. It's not a cognitive thing. It is something that through physical repetition in the gym, in your home, wherever it may be that you train, that is something that needs to be instilled as a child, because that is going to be the route that is able to help them physically throughout the rest of their lives. So again, being able to guide your child into an arena of a martial art that really helps hand-eye coordination, bodily control, wrestling, jiu-jitsu, Muay Thai. But then on top of that, paralleled with that, and this is kind of a, number 3, part 2, is the societal impact of being able to bring a child around a team and bringing brotherhood, sisterhood, and bondedness in a community is essential, because we as human beings, I believe that God made us to be a communal person, a communal people. And that is something that we absolutely must have in how God has built us. And jumping to number 4, your adulthood, you are diminishing fast. Depending on what age you are, if you have not been training physically, if you're not eating right, your body is deteriorating extremely fast. I'm now 32. I just turned 32 a few days ago. And I feel like I am in better shape than I've ever been before, more body control than I've ever had before. And that is because of the way that I train. Now you can DM me, you can comment in this post, and I can share with you how I do that. But being able to regress the speed of how your body is deteriorating and actually reversing that and having your body function that of an 18-year-old who can just throw themselves into anything and succeed with both coordination and physical capability of exuding strength in whatever they're doing, whether it be a mugging or something like that. God, hopefully that would never happen to anybody listening to this, but that is something that people are not going to mess with you if you physically exude something that would detour them from coming at you, especially with violence. So number 5, the mental benefits of training are very, very essential here. The physiological things that happen when you work out, it actually dissolves cortisol in your body, helps you work that through. One of the things that I tell all my clients is that I actually like working out alone, because it's a meditative thing for me. So when I'm working out alone, it reduces that stress, it takes away that stress for me throughout my day, and afterwards I feel clearer. I'm more capable of being articulate. I'm more capable of being around people and not having these slight things like pop up with like road rage or something like that. The emotional control and mental toughness that it brings is something that is priceless. So working out, doing a heavy squat where if you do not, your lower back could frickin' snap, or your lower back could have a, pulled whatever, a slip disc could come from it. So you're actually putting yourself at risk of serious injury. So you have to keep your core nice and tight, your spine straight. You have to squat down through your heels in a perfect form in order to not get injured, but you're also gaining this strength and muscular development through the workout. That is where we see everything in life take place that is of a beneficial nature. You take the risk of getting married and you work through stuff as a husband and wife, and you actually build a stronger marriage from it. That we see that paralleled all throughout society. Fitness gives structure, it can give purpose, and that structure and organization in a day, being able to map out, I want to work out these body parts, this style of exercise, this style of practice for this sport, 3 days a week, 7 days a week, whatever it may be. That structure gives something to a human that we need. If you just wake up, like here in Miami, I meet a lot of trust fund kids that have no structure in their life, and they have no purpose and fulfillment and meaning. And a lot of those people go to things that I'm not going to say here on YouTube in order to try to fulfill their heart, their meaning, their fulfillment, and it never does, and we all know that. So fitness can be something that you're able to put passion into and receive reward, emotional, physical, almost spiritual reward from. And also the dopamine hit from a good workout is just amazing. It's priceless as well. So wrapping up, we've been through 5 different things. Number 1, you can never build discipline too early. Being able to drive a child to the gym and them work out on their own, and you as a parent even maybe giving them a workout or something, hire a trainer, pay for a $25 online training program that you give your child and you have them tell you when they're done. Number 2, your confidence is never fully developed if you're not putting children through physical challenges, not abusive challenges physically, of course, but something that is pushing them to be better and guiding them through why is working out so important and why is working out something that builds the confidence that is needed for a child to succeed through life. I never got bullied after I started working out. I was a big guy starting in about 8th grade. In 7th grade, there was this one school bully that would constantly bully me on the bus on my way to school in junior high. And I didn't do anything about it. I didn't even tell anyone about it. But then when I started working out, everything changed. I literally, even when I went to bars and stuff back when I was drinking heavy in college, no one messed with me. I mean, I was on the rugby team. I just never got messed with because everyone was like, yo, Eric's this like big, strong guy, both in high school and college. And why would I try to mess with him even if he is annoying me with fill in the blank thing that I was doing, whether it was a truly thing that he or she should be pissed at me about? They're not gonna mess with me because I'm an intimidating guy because I was bigger back then. And that's not something that I was naturally given. I'm naturally extremely skinny, but I worked my tail off in order to have a physical stature that exuded confidence. And that's something that, my brother, 5 years older than me, he's a captain in the Marines, but he was also a junior world's strongest men competitor. He drove me to that. My mom drove me to that. My dad drove me to that. And props to them. I mean, family is everything. They're not perfect. They weren't perfect, but they helped me with that. You can never start adulthood already behind physically. You want to make sure that in going into your adulthood that you are in a place physically where you're able to thrive going into a 9-to-5 job, as an entrepreneur, whatever. Start your day with a workout or run and you'll be able to thrive. You can never learn mental toughness better through training. Training is the best way to do it. So guys, thank you for listening to all 5 of these. I love you guys so much. Thank you for following along. Stay tuned to the next YouTube video and click that subscribe button. Peace.